Hey YouTube, it's been a while since I've done a video like this, but I just thought I would come and do this because I've gotten a lot of questions, a lot of a lot of attention on my previous videos concerning epilepsy, and a lot of questions, a lot of support as well. So I just thought I would come and do an update and just kind of go through my journey for those of you that don't know. So obviously, as I said, this is an epilepsy update. Most of you may not know, but some of you will know that I was diagnosed with epilepsy in 2018, March 2018. And also, if you hear any noise, my son is listening to something. So yeah. So I was diagnosed with epilepsy in March 2018 when I had my first set of seizures. And just in case you haven't watched the video, basically, if you have two or more seizures, you get diagnosed with epilepsy. And my first ever seizure happened to be a cluster of episodes where they were just kind of going back to back to back. And I think the paramedics, they kind of had some kind of secret potion, medical potion that could help it like stop, calm down. So they used that on me that day. And then I think once they admitted me, I kind of went back into a cluster of seizures. Mine are nocturnal and they are tonic clonics. So some people, they used to be known as grand mal seizures. And so I don't remember a thing. I don't remember anything about any of my seizures except for coming out and feeling a bit confused and doing some weird things, but just here and there. But most of it is a blur to me. I just kind of had to find out through my family members that were there, and they could kind of fill in certain things of what they saw me doing, what happened. And obviously the paramedics and my neurologist explained to me kind of what happens when I have a seizure type of thing. But yeah, so they are nocturnal. They do happen when I'm sleeping. And if you don't know, everyone's triggers can be different, but mine seem to be quite common: stress related, lack of sleep, and those two basically. And I think around that time I kind of have a poor sleeping habit anyway, and that time I was having a lot of stress at work. So yeah, I think that did contribute to what happened. So yeah, when I had one second, I check on the baby. Yeah, so when I had those episodes, the first one, they put me on medication that was supposed to basically help stop me from having future seizures and also maintain like just maintain whatever I can't remember what they said, but basically mainly to stop me from having future seizures basically. And the medication first of all that they put me on was Levetiracetam. And if for those of you that don't know, it's like a generic form of Keppra. So I think in America you guys will have more experience with the Keppra version of that. And when I first went on the medication, oh my gosh, my whole life changed. Obviously, my whole life changed anyway because the seizure, I feel like it did something to me, like where I was just not the same. But when I went on the medication now, I felt like that was even worse than the seizure for me because it just made my mind really foggy. Like, obviously, seizures do affect your memory, but I felt like the medication was having long-term effects that I just was not prepared for. I was not prepared for it at all. I didn't feel like myself. I was very spacey, very tired. I think for the first couple weeks to a month, I spent sleeping, lying, like just sleeping basically. I was very, very, very tired. That's one thing I do remember, very, very tired, and just not myself. I didn't really interact with people the way I used to. I didn't really want to say much at all, to be honest, and rightfully so. I did have an experience, to me was very much near the way it was described to me, and you know, the way the medical team was quite worried about how many seizures I had and how long I was unconscious. It made me feel like I had a real like near death experience, and I just felt like if I wasn't found when I was found, what would have happened? Obviously, I do have, at that time I had one child, my daughter, and I thought to myself, wow, she was there with me actually, but she was young, she didn't know what was going on. And I just felt like, what would have happened? What would have happened to me if I was not found? So yeah, I was processing the whole thing and then thinking like, what is my life going to be like from now? Am I going to have more? Am I ever going to be able to control them? Am I going to ever be able to live my life? Like, they were giving me all these rules and regulations, not to have baths unsupervised, not to drive, all of this stuff. It felt like I was being stripped of my, you could say, I felt like I was just being stripped of like my freedom, and my independence. So basically, the back to the drugs now, the medication. So it was having a lot of effects, and then it was kind of giving me this, there's another seizure type that they call auras, and I think it's a partial complex. It's a type of seizure that they call when you get auras, and it's basically like an onset of having a bigger seizure, and I was getting a lot of those, and I felt like it was due to the medication. I felt like I couldn't trust myself. I just felt like, am I gonna have a seizure? I'm feeling a bit lightheaded. I'm feeling a bit, my heart's palpitating. I'm feeling like I may just lose. Like, I thought I was gonna actually have waking seizures while I was conscious. Like, I was just thinking the worst case scenario because of the way I was feeling taking that medication. And obviously they started me on 500 is it 500 milligrams, I think. Yeah. And then they made me increase it to 1,000 within, I think it was a week or two, because I think 1,000 is the threshold for actually maintaining your seizures. Like, any lower than that, you can basically, they say that you could just still, the medication could be quite ineffective. So yeah, so once I increased it, I felt like my life was just not my own. So, and I feel like a lot of you can relate to this, because a lot of you guys are like, you like asked me about the medication and how long did it take to get used to it, and was it working for me and all of that. So now to speak a bit more about that. So I think I got like a month or two in, and I was like, you know what, this medication thing is not for me. I was not getting back to myself. I was not feeling like this was going to work for me in terms of me being my authentic self and being happy, and being able to like trust myself to be alone, like to be with my child, like all of these kind of things. So I did decide that I was going to stop taking medication. I did, and I stopped taking it, and I was fine for about 2 months, 3 months, and then I ended up having another episode of seizures, and I just woke up back in hospital, and I just cried because I thought, wow, so that basically confirms that I have to stay on this medication, because without it, I've heard stories of people that don't take the medication and then, they just had it. My son entered the room, so if you hear anything, it's mummy time as well. But yeah, so I've heard of some people just having one-off seizures in their life and being able to live without medication. But at that point, I knew he's trying to pull me out, pull me to go out the room. I knew that it was not going to be my reality. So I had to go back on the medication and go through the process again. And, I stayed on the medication up until this day. Obviously, I do want to say, because a lot of you guys asked me, he's pulling me away. Where do you want me to go, sir? Where do you want me to go? Okay, 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so I do want to obviously throw out there, because a lot of you guys have asked me about my journey on this medication now and how I am now, and I'm so honest like with you guys, and I let you know that I have not. I think after that period, I did go on medication consistently for probably about, I can't tell you exactly when, but probably more than 6 months. But I've always kind of had a struggle with timing and making sure I get both doses in every day. And I think over the years, I've gotten comfortable with missing doses and stuff like that. As of yesterday, I took one of the tablets, and I think before that point I hadn't taken any for about like a week. So I that's my I would not recommend anyone to do that, because you just don't know what could happen. But I have come to learn about myself and know that I'm okay. I will be okay if I miss doses, and sometimes if I don't even take it at all. But you know, I do notice once the threshold starts to get low, I do notice certain things like my sinuses start to play. I get little signals to say, okay, how you know your body is weaning off of this medication, and it's not to say that I might have a seizure if I completely stop, but I don't want to take that risk. So once I notice my body telling me that it's noticing that I don't have enough of this levetiracetam in there, then I will go ahead and take one of them just to kind of give it to. But I do honestly really truly want to just get to a place where I don't have to take them. If there was doing my research on natural ways that I can maintain a seizure free life, and I'm just trying to get the confidence enough research and enough facts to kind of have confidence in doing that, because I have 2 children. I can't just be taking risks and end up in hospital again, or worst case scenario dead. Like, I live alone. It's not set up safely for me to be doing certain things, so I am taking the precautions to be very confident in the decision that I want to make in the future. But as of right now, I am totally reliant on the medication to maintain my seizures. So with that said, I do want to say that I have not had any clonic seizures since June 2018. So I've had two episodes, and within those 2 episodes, it was like a cluster and a series of seizures in both of them. So it was just like, I don't even know how many they counted each time. It was just back. My phone is not having it, so we're just gonna have to wait. I'm gonna need to sort that out. But I just want to encourage you guys, whoever's going through this and living with seizures, whether it's epilepsy or just a seizure disorder, I want to let you know that things will get better. You will find yourself and you will gain your own sense of independence again. From my own personal journey, I felt like it was stripped from me, but I found it. I found myself, and I am so hopeful for my future. I feel great. I don't feel abnormal to everybody else anymore. I feel perfectly fine. Obviously not perfect, but I feel I love myself and who I am, and I would not change who I am for the world. And you will get there too. Hold on, stay strong. For me, strengthening my faith in God really kept me through those hard times. Do what you got to do to keep yourself positive and lift up your spirits in those times of weakness and depression. But I just want to let you know that you will be okay. You will make it. You will find a new normal that you will be happy with, okay? So with that said, I just want to say, any questions that you have, please don't feel free to put it in the comment box. Anything that you want me to do, any videos concerning epilepsy, because I can only go off my own experience. So anything that I missed, anything you want me to elaborate on, comment section. But until then, you guys stay blessed and take care, and I love you guys for supporting me and, you know, literally, a lot of you guys cheered me up, and a lot of you guys taught me some things as well. So if you know anything, please drop your knowledge in there as well, because there's a lot of people that go through and read and they're looking for knowledge, and knowledge helps. It is power. So yeah, until next time, you guys take care and stay blessed.